Well, hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode with your girl, Audrey Codner from ACG Math Tutoring. Hopefully you guys are doing well and enjoying the end of the day for me. Well, not officially the end of the day. I still got a couple more clients later on, but close to the end of the day for most people for a nice, happy Monday. So what we're going to do today, we're going to take a deeper look into word problems. Now, I know this session is not going to be for the faint of heart. We're going to try to keep it to like roughly 1 hour, but I want to kind of look at some of the word problems that most people will see either in the GED or the ASVAB. But we can still use some of these complex or some of these problems to help out with your TEAS test, your HESI test, any type of word problem like how to devour or how to, I should say not devour, pull out, there we go, the information in order for us to get our true answers. So let's get started. So as you guys come on in, you can say hi. Hey, Candy, how are you? Can't wait to see you on, what was it? On tomorrow. Okay, your average chill guy, hello. Okay, Angela, welcome in. Upper room, thank you for stopping in. I love it. Okay, so if anything, let's see if we could take a look at this problem. So Joshua has a jar of 100 marbles. The jar contains twice as many red marbles as yellow marbles, 3 times as many green as yellow, and twice as many purple as red. How many yellow marbles are in the jar? Right? So you're probably like saying, say what? Well, we're going to break this down, but let's see what you can get. Okay? Let's see what you can get. And I know people are going to be like, I never have to worry about marbles ever in my life. We just basically take whatever color that's given to us and we move on. And I get it. Okay? I am well. Ladder Code, thank you so much for stopping in. You're saying 10? Okay. This is my favorite John. Hey, I know this has to be a Philly person. Has to be. If not, I'm like, what? What's going on? Girl, huh? Exactly. Hello, Erica. Math heads. Hello, my mathletes people that are also coming in. All right, Chris. Chris is saying C. Julie is saying 20. All right. Yes. West to be exact. Okay. Yes, I'm on the northeast. So West Oak Lane. There we go. Right at the beginning of Broad Street. That's where I ranged. All right. Test squared. How you doing? Ramona, how are you? I got you. 2 blue. We got C. Scam of knee. All right. I know, right? I'm telling you, I tell people Baltimore is South Philly. That's all it is. Every time I turn around, there's someone from Philly I know. Okay, Andrea is saying C. All right. Scam O'Neill, I think I got you. I said C a couple times. Okay, greater than 0, Sarah. All right. Now, as you guys are coming on in, go ahead and tap away if you can, because I'm not going to do any mad taps throughout this session. I really want to get more of the education, more so less than the tapping. But it'll be nice to show that TikTok that, hey, we're here. And if you are part of my community, go ahead and check in, hit with that heart. If you're not a part of my lovely little community, just so you can get little alerts of when I go on live, there's an orange heart right next to my name. If you click on that, they'll be part of the group. So now let's break this down. So we know we have a total of 100, okay? Because that's how many marbles we have. But they're saying the jar contains twice as many red marbles as yellow marbles, okay? We have 3 times as many green as yellow, and twice as many purple as red. Well, first thing, they didn't tell us how many red marbles we have. So that's going to be my first unknown. Thanks for checking in. Now, we're going to be taking a look at our next. So they said that the jar contains twice as many red as yellow. So that means my yellow has to be 2x because it's twice as many red. Okay, so I'm going to write over here really quick, actually up here since there'll be a lot more room, that x is representing my red. So if yellow has twice as many red, so that's representing yellow. 3 times as many green as yellow. So if we're looking at 3 times as many green as yellow, that means we got our plus 3x. All right, and it says twice as many purple as red. Well, if we're looking at twice as many purple as red, that means we're really getting it on down with the 1, 2, 3 with our 4x. Okay. So let's all add all these up. And you're probably saying, wow, that's a lot. So 4 plus 3 is 7. 7 plus 2, that's 9. Plus 1, that would be 10. So we have our 10x is equal to 100. If I divide both sides by 10, my x is also going to equal 10, because 10 times 10 gives me my 100. So how many yellow? Oh yeah, that's not supposed to be red. That is supposed to be yellow. That's probably why a lot of people are shouting at me, because I was like, wait, how would I get 4? Because I would have to do twice as many, so 2 times 2, that's where that 4 came from. Sorry, guys, that should be yellow. Okay, so that was my yellow, twice as many red as yellow, so that's 2x. 3 times as many green as yellow, so this is yellow, 3 times x, there we go. And then twice as many purple as red. Well, if we had 2 reds, twice as many, that's 2 times 2, that's where the 4 came from. Let me clarify my instruction. All right, so when you add all your x's up, it will give you your 10x equals your 100. Then you divide both sides by 10 to give you your yellow, which will be 10. Okay. I know. All right. Okay. So, because no matter what, they didn't tell us how many yellow, but they compared it each to a yellow. And we need to find out how many yellow marbles were in that jar. The only thing that was different was here, twice as many purple as red. This right here was supposed to be our red. And if we're doing twice as many as that, 2 times 2, that's where that 4 came from. Okay. All right. Yes, these are definitely going to be word problems. So, next one. Matt travels 1,100 miles during a 40-hour work week. If he spends 2/5 of his time traveling, how many hours does he spend traveling? Is it A, 16, B, 12, C, 22, or D, 8? Okay, so Frank, yes. If that's supposed to be a GED, yes. It's on the GED as well as the ASVAB. Hey, Janice, I see you in here. So give yourself time to think it out. So he travels 1,100 miles during a 40-hour work week. If he spends 2/5 of his time traveling, how many hours does he spend traveling? Does he spend A, 16, B, 12, C, 22, or D, 8? Okay, so I see a 22, I'm seeing an A, I'm seeing B, I'm seeing 16, a couple of A's, which is the 16s. Okay, a few A's, got one with a C. Hello, Lizzie, there we go. All right, so we have some A's, couple B's. All right, so we have some 16s. We have a C. Is he traveling? I don't know. Only in math where a lot of this stuff just doesn't make sense. Like, why would someone buy 40 watermelons? Where are you going? Why do you need 40 watermelons? And why are you just sitting up and eating up 40 watermelons? Calm that down. It's crazy. All right, so we have a bunch of A's. Like, where did he go? I know. So we have a whole bunch of A's. So this is what's happening. Okay? So right now, we're only worried about he spends 2/5 of his time traveling. How much time did he spend traveling? Spent 40 hours. Right? So if we're taking 2/5 of my 40, of means multiplication, what I could do, I can simplify. So 40 and 5, that can be simplified. 5 can be 1, and 40 can be 8, because 5 times 8 gives me 40, and 5 times 1 gives me 5. Now what's left over is the 2 times the 8. 2 times 8 will give me 16. If you don't like it that way, we're still taking 2/5 of 40. We can make that 40 into a fraction by putting it over 1. And if you want, we can multiply straight across and then simplify. So 2 times 40, that gives me 80. 5 times 1 gives me 5. And then you can divide 80 by 5, which will give you 16. Either way, your answer is going to be A. So you're probably saying, well, Audrey, what happened to 1,100 miles? They're not talking about miles. They want to know how many hours. And the only hours that was given is the 40 hours. And we know he spent 2/5 of his time, 2/5 of that 40 hours. We didn't need the miles. Okay? We didn't need the miles. Yep, just some extra information. And sometimes they do that. Okay? So sometimes just try to answer just the question. All right? Yeah, the second one's a little bit easier. Yeah. All right. So let's take a look. A car heading west. We love these. Remember trains, cars, all this stuff? All right, so we have a car heading west for North Placid, left at the same time that a car heading east left the same place. Here we go. We're going to be able to read now. The car headed west for North Plate traveled at 55 miles per hour. The car heading east traveled at 70 miles per hour. How many miles apart were the cars at the end of 2.5 hours? Is it A, 212 miles, B, 165 and 5/10 of a mile, C, 125 miles, or D, 312 miles and 5/10? Okay. All right. Okay. So we got a couple of D's, got a C. Okay. Breezy thinks it's D. All right. Thank you guys for the follows. I appreciate it. Okay. So far we got C's and D's. I got one person, Darren, with a B, Paulie. There we go. No more talk. We got D. My mind tells you B. My mind's telling me B. But my answer's telling me, I don't know. Right? Okay. Okay, so confusion purposes, they're all guessing. Yes, here's my crazy nutty side. This is what happens. Lack of sleep, not information. Where did it start from? Okay. But one thing they did say they basically left the same place, okay? So wherever they were, they left at the same place. So here's one of those I like to call distance, rate, and times. So you got your distance, you got your speed or your rate, and you have your time. So what we're looking for, they gave us miles per hour. So that's my rate. Okay, 55 miles per hour for one, 70 miles per hour for another. And they also gave me time, which is 2.5 hours. So we don't have to do any conversion because everything is in hours and miles. So we're basically saying how many miles. So we're looking for the distance. So we cover up the D. This is what we need to do. We need to multiply the rate times the time. So we need to do it for each of the cars. So the one car that's going 55 miles an hour, and we want to figure out what's happening at 2.5 hours. Then we have the other car that was going 70 miles an hour, and we want to see what's happening at 2.5 hours. So what we're going to do is, once we figure out how much is each one, they want to see how many miles apart were the cars at the end. So if they started at the same spot, they need to be ending at the same piece. So basically, it's going to be the same. All right, so let's take a look. So we have 55 times 2.5. Okay, for all of my lovely people that are doing long, and all you people that have calculators, but I'm just going to do this based off of time. Okay, we will get 137 5/10. So that's for the car that's going 55 miles an hour. So the one that's going 70 miles an hour, we have 175. Okay. So we're not subtracting, okay? We're actually, since they started at the same place, that's why they added that piece. And they're going to be ending somewhere. So what is it? We're going to add these two together. So right away, I'm looking. I got a 0.5. So I know I'm looking for an answer that has a 0.5 to it. So far, I can get rid of A and I can get rid of C because those are whole numbers. This one has a 0.5. This one has a 0.5. So obviously it can't be 165 because we already went past that with our 175. So our answer choice should be D. So if you want to see, we have 7 plus 5, that gives me 12. Boom, carry the 1. So 7 and 3 is 10 plus 1, that's 11, carry the 1. And 1 plus 1 plus 1 that was carried gives me my 3. So sometimes you don't have to do all of the work, okay? They only care about, let me see if I unzoom just a tad, because it's sliding back and forth, it's making me crazy. So they only care about, did you pick A, B, C, or D? Okay, so in order for us to figure this out, we needed to find the distance. So in order for us to find the distance, we needed to multiply the rate and the time that was given to us for each of the cars. Okay, obviously the direction didn't really care for this problem. So once we figured that out, did our multiplication of each, you're going to add those two together to get my 312 and 5/10. All right. But when it takes that practice, Candy, it takes that practice. Because sometimes it's a little tough. All right, so let's keep it going. I know, and you're not by yourself. So you always line up whole numbers with whole numbers. Then you had that 0.5. Your 0.5 is right here. Add the 7 and 5, add the 3 and the 7 with the carried 1, add the 1 and 1 with the carried 1. Okay. So number 4, twist the previous problem around a bit. Okay, so that means we're using number 3. This time, assume the cars were traveling in the same direction. How far apart were they at the end of 2.5 hours? Is it A, 37.5, B, 62.5, C, 73.5, or D, 87? So what do you think we're going to have to do? Yes, de jour, de jour. Love your sentence. Okay, yes, we got a couple with the A's. We got a couple with the A's. Egyptian young. What are you talking about? Okay. Yes. There we go, guys. Good. All right. So, since we did all the work last time, all we have to do is subtract. Now, here's my thing. We're going to take our 175, our largest one, and we're going to put it over our 137.5, and we're going to subtract these two. Now, let's put our decimal in the 0 so we can get everything lined up. So obviously I can't do 0 minus 5. I got to borrow. So I'm borrowing from this 5 to make it into a 4. So I can make that 0 into a 10. 10 minus 5, that gives me 5. So right away, option D is off the plate because I have my 5/10. Okay, when you're adding and subtracting decimals, you got to make sure that your decimal places are lined up. Okay, multiplication, you just have to count how many decimal places you have. So now I'm going to borrow from the 7 to make it a 6. Make this 4 into a 14. So 14 minus 7 gives me 7. And now 6 minus 3 gives me 3. And 1 minus 1 gives me 0, but we don't need that 0 as a placeholder because we have our answer of 37 and 5/10, which is option A. Okay, so the key part was this: twist the preceding problem around a bit. So they want us to use the problem that we had earlier. Okay. All right. Yeah, this was from the other answer. So you're going to have to watch the recording because I only have so much time for today. Not to be rude, and so sorry. All right, so let's get started. All right. Okay. All these twists. One more twist. Isn't this fun? No, this isn't fun. This time, the two cars travel at a right angle, 90 degrees to each other. For example, one car travels west and the other car travels north. How far apart are the drivers as the crow flies after 2.5 hours? You see the lovely humor? You're sitting here torturing yourself like, look, I'm trying to get into the military. You over here talking about some damn crows. So again, let me help set you up because this one, I have to go back to it. So we have, they want us to do a 90 degree. So here's car A, here's car B. So they're saying one's driving west and one's driving north. So we figured in miles, which is which. So the one that was car A, that was driving at 175, which it doesn't matter because the legs are interchangeable. It's probably the other way around, but here we are. But they want to know how far apart they are. And if you remember or recall about right triangles, these two things, these two sides here, they're called your legs. And the legs are interchangeable. The side that's opposite this 90-degree angle, that's called your hypotenuse. Your hypotenuse is your largest side. So the way to find your hypotenuse is using a squared plus b squared equals c squared. A's and b's are interchangeable. They're for your legs. And the c squared is for your hypotenuse. So I just kind of set you up a little bit. What will be my answer? I know you guys still got to calculate it. I just want to read the answers off, so don't feel stressed. Okay. So they're saying this time the two cars traveled at a right angle, 90 degrees to each other. For example, one car travels west, the other car travels north. How far apart are the drivers as the crow flies after 2.5 hours? Is it A, 312 and 5/10? Is it B, 239 and 3/10? C, 222 and 5/10? Or D, 323 and 4/10? So I have some C's, I have some A's. There's Jenny. Jenny with a C. Test squared with a C. There's yours saying A. Manuel saying A. Michael. Hey, Michael. Saying C. Mist saying D. Bunny saying C. Breezy with a C. Okay, Charles with an A. 3 dots with a C. T baby saying C. All right. Where did you get the numbers from the legs from? It's from an earlier problem that we did, Gabby. Yeah, it's from an earlier problem. Hence the words, one more twist. Sorry, you probably can't even see that. Yeah. So you're learning this in school right now? Good. All right, let's see your skills, James. Let's see it. Crazy skulls saying C. It's almost your time of year. Saying C all the way. Moesha. N to the O to the. With A. Couldn't resist. I'm sorry, Moesha. I couldn't resist. You set me up. All right. So let's see if we can fill some stuff in. Now, these type of questions that I've seen, especially this one, when you're dealing with numbers like these, I'm not sure how you would answer a question like this. Well, actually I do. Because the GED, the ASVAB, AccuPlacers, you cannot use a calculator for the assessments. So some type of question like this, I would probably see it like in the 80s. If you do see something of this retrospect that's dealing with these type of numbers, you'll probably see it like more so like in the 80s or in the 90s. It's pretty much up there, probably in the 80s, especially if it's Army. Okay. All right. So all we're doing is plugging our legs in. So we have our 175 squared. Then we plug our B in, which is the 137.5 squared. And the C is what we're trying to find. Okay. So now we need to take what's 175 squared. Do not be impressed. I did look this up. So I'm like, I'll be truthful, 3,625. I knew it was going to end in 625, but I forgot what the beginning was. So that is what 175 squared is. Plus we have, what is it? 18,906 point, that should end in 25. And that's what C squared is going to equal. Okay. Okay. So this is 175 times 175, not 175 times 2. Just want to emphasize that. Same thing here. 137 and 5/10 times 137 and 5/10. Once you add them together, next thing that you're going to do is take the square root. Reason why we're doing that is because the square and the square roots, they're inverses of each other, just like addition is to subtraction, vice versa, and multiplication is to addition. So have fun putting that into a calculator. And then roughly what you would get for your unknown is going to be roughly 222.556 if I round it up. But looking at this, the closest number or the closest answer that I received was this. Okay. Yeah, this is definitely not a no calculator type question. Just want to let you know that. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I know, right? Exactly. If you missed the previous problem, exactly. That's how. But I show it. I show these because I don't know. I just get feedback from people that are taking the test. And so far, with me just working with them a little bit, help with clarifying their thoughts towards the test and taking the test, I have yet to have someone said I did worse. I had people that are like, oh, I did better than I thought I would. Awesome. Or, oh my God, I did way better. Okay. Why did I cross out the 2? Because squares and square roots, they're inverses of each other. They cancel each other out. Just like if I had a positive amount of money with the same amount of money that I gained, they cancel out. Give me a 0. Okay? So if I owed you $5 and I paid you $5, I don't owe you anything. Stop begging. Okay? Okay? Glizzy, I cannot. I'm so sorry. No, it can't equal C squared. It has to equal C. Yeah, so that's why this is one of those, because if I kept it as C squared, how are you going to find your answer? Unless you try to guesstimate where it will locate. Right. It should be rounded as 0.6. I totally agree, pilot. Yep, it should be rounded at 0.6, but that's like the closest one. As I said, that was the closest one. All right. You know, this is what happens when you take some problems off the internet. Okay. All right. Let's move to the next one. You're so welcome. All right. Here we go. Dana spends $120.37 on gas in July, $108.45 in August, and $114.86 in September. What is the average monthly cost of Dana's gas? Is it A, B, C, or D? right, so I'm seeing a lovely mixture. In the beginning, I was seeing a lot of D's. Okay, people are switching to D's now. Okay. So you're seeing C, I'm seeing C, I'm seeing A, I'm seeing D. So I'm seeing basically a whole range of answers. Hey, Big Al. Okay, Karen. Hello. Rose. Lisa, hello. Welcome in. Wild guess with a C. All right. All right, so let's take a look. Key phrase is average. Anytime you see the word average, you're thinking of mean. So that means we have to add all these numbers up. So all these prices. I love how this person's saying this is how much they spend in gas a month. Shoot, that was me last week. I don't know about y'all. Okay, so we had July, August, and September. So that's 3 months. So we need to add those prices up and then divide by 3 months. So if we take a look, 7 and 5, that gives me 12, plus the 8, that gives me 18. Carry the 1. So 3 and 4, that's 7, and 1, that's 8. 8 and 8 is 16. Line up my decimal point, carry the 1. Okay, 8 and 4 is 12, plus 1, that's 13. Put the 3 down, carry the 1. Then we have 2 plus 1 and 1, that gives me 2. 2 and 2 gives me 4. And then 1, 2, 3 gives me 3. So this is our total. Now we need to divide this by 3. And the reason why we're dividing by 3, because it is 3 months. So one set of 3, one group of 3 can go into 3. One group of 3 can go into 4. So we got our 33. 4 minus 3 gives me 1. Bring down the 3 to make it 13. How many 3's can go into 13? Well, we got 4. That gives me my 12. Line up my decimal. So we know 144. So right away, we can get rid of A. A was the total, but it didn't divide by a number. We can get rid of B because now we have 114. But now we got to do the next one to see about the cents. Okay. Bring down the 6. So now it's a 16. So how many 3's can go into 16? That will be 5 of them. So here, just by that information, my answer is going to be D. Okay. And you're like, I don't feel right. I need completion. It's okay. Bring down the 18. But remember, when you're taking the test, you're not going to have time. Okay, you're not going to have time. Because a lot of people, when they do take a lot of these standardized tests, the one thing they always complain about, they don't get enough time. And if you are going after your ASVAB, they have shortened their time. You're basically given 1 minute per question. So there's going to be some questions you're going to know rather quickly, and there's going to be some questions that is going to take a little bit extra time. But this is what you should really do. Once you feel confident in a question, click it, bubble it, move on. Okay, no celebration like, ooh, my answer was there. We ain't got time. All right. We really want to try to hit as many of the questions as we can possible. Why we were taught to do division like that? That's how we were taught. That's how it's taught. Okay. Yeah. It was get it, got it, good. Exactly, Crazy Skulls. Exactly. Okay. All right. Okay. So now a teacher deposits $3,000 in a retirement fund. If she didn't add any more money to the fund, which earns an annual interest rate of 6%, how much money would she have in 1 year? Is it A, $180? Is it B, $3,006? C, $3,180? Or D, $6,000? Okay, so a combination of C and D. What was the last one was D, J. J, the question or the answer for the last question was D. All right, so I got a bunch of C's. Okay, I got an A, got a bunch of C's. Okay, you love money, so it's C. Okay, I have a B, got a couple of C's. All right, so we have our A's, we got our C's, our D's, our B's, and our C's. Okay, so what you are looking at is a simple interest. Okay, so once we get our simple interest, the P is the principal, that's what you start off with. The R is the rate that we need to put as a decimal, and the T is the time in years. So they're telling you, they started with 3,000. They're telling you that the annual rate was 6% and it happened in 1 year. But this is the key part. How much would she have in a year? Okay, not so much just the interest. So we're going to have to do something else. So if we got our principal at 3,000, we need to change our rate from 6% to a true decimal. So that will be 0.06, not 0.6. 0.6 means 60%. If we were getting 60% interest, I would not be here. And the time is always based off of years. So that's going to be 1 year. So the 1 is really not really doing much for us. But if I multiply my 6 and my 3, I'm going to get my 18 because I got all these lovely zeros. So we have our 1, we have our 1, 2, okay. So we have our 3 zeros because all we need, but we have 2 decimal places here. So if I start on the back end, I'm going to go 1, 2. So that means my decimal point, we got $180. That's my interest. We want to know how much she's going to make in that 1 year. So if we put in the 3,000 and we have that interest of 180, we're going to have $3,180, which is choice C. Okay, so we have to add the interest to what our principal was. Well, hello, how are you? Okay. All right, nice. Okay, questions. Hello. I love when people say hello. Okay, so you're learning right now? Awesome, I love that. Okay, PRT stands for what? The principal, which is usually your starting amount, your rate, which is your percent as a decimal, and your time, which means how much time in years. So if they say, oh, this is how much they earned in 6 months, the time is not going to be 1, it's going to be 1/2. Okay, because 6 months is half a year. All right. Okay, fabulous. Let's see what we can do with this one. We're going to see if we can get this problem and possibly, let's see if we can get 3 more. I know these are a little more strenuous for some people. I get it. But here's my thing. I am so proud of you guys sticking it out. Okay? It's easy to just give up on yourself. So it's like a phrasing that I saw today. It says, if you're unwilling to fail, then you're unwilling to succeed. Okay? We're all going to screw up. We're not AI. Okay? We're not mini computers. We're human beings. We're constantly trying to compete with computers. And why are we doing that? Because we're human beings. Let it the frick go. Okay? All right? Just let it go. You're going to make a mistake. We make the adjustments and we move on. All right? So hopefully you know that this is a safe space. You can respond accordingly, please, as best you can. So if you screw up, that's all right. Erase it, move on, and we're going to get the next one. All right? Yeah. And AI messes up all the time. Exactly. All right. Okay. Nice. So we definitely have some B's. Can we do approx? Yep. You can do approximation. Yep. If you can get as close as you can with it, that definitely works. All right. So we got a whole bunch of B's, C's. How often do I go live? I try to go live at least once a day. Okay. Sometimes mostly in the afternoons when you guys are, getting off of work, trying to pull you away from watching, 90 Day Fiancé for the 80th time. It's the same garbage. It's just different people. So we have our B's, we have our B's, we have our B's. Okay. So let's take a look. A farmer constructs a wooden bin. The bin is 6 feet long, 4 feet wide, and 3 feet deep. The bin rests on legs that are 3.5 feet tall to keep the grain away from the damp ground. How much grain can the farmer store in his new bin? Well, here we go. Again, this packet is like the king of giving me extra stuff. Since we're only talking about the bin, we don't care about the legs. Because the legs is not going to hold any of the grain. All the grain is going to go in here, right into this bin. So we need to know the dimensions of the bin. Since it's basically what? A rectangle. So we got 6 times 4 times 3. So if you want, you can do 6 times 4. That gives me 24. And then 24 times 3 gives me 72. If you wanted to, you could have done 12. Then times 6. That also gives me 72. And if you really wanted to, you could have done 18 times 4, and that still gives me an answer of 72. The best thing about multiplication, they're commutative. That means I can group my 6 and 4, I can group my 4 and 3, I can do my 6 and 3. Either way, I'm going to get the same answer, which is 72. Okay. All right. Let's get it. Let's go. All right. Hopefully everything is going all right. Until I dropped my paper. So let's go. Here we go with a nice little novel. On December 1st, the National Weather Service recorded 1.3 inches of rain in Key West, Florida. On December 5th, the National Weather Service recorded 0.5 fewer inches of rain that fell on December 1st. On December 15th, 3 more inches fell in Key West. There was no additional rain during the remainder of the month. How many inches of rain fell in Key West during the month of December? Is it A, 10.9? Is it B, 5.1? C, 11.4? Or D, 8.7? Hello, Rosette. How are you? 1, 2, 3 is saying D. Okay, no problem, Tess. Well, hello, Audrey. Namesake speaking to namesake and saying D. Diane saying B. Okay, Jess is telling me B. Okay, Caitlin's B. Is it Ira with B? Big Al B, Keith B, K Michelle B. Oh, the K Michelle? I would sing, but I'm not going to do it. Screaming Michelle B. Oh, the K Michelle? I would sing, but I'm not going to do it. Screaming D. Okay, I'm here. So subtract and add. Okay, you got 5.8. Okay. All right, Jen saying B. Kathy, Caitlin saying V. Not sure. All right. Now, here's a couple of things. There's like a tweak into it. It's not just going to be simply, okay, taking a 1.3, then you're taking your 1/2, and then you're taking 3, right? Here's the thing. They said that it started with 1.3, right? That happened December 1st. December 5th, read what it says. 1/2, basically, fewer inches of rain that fell on December 1st. So I got to take basically a half. Okay? 1/2 inches or 0.5 fewer inches. Fewer means what operation? Let's put it that way. Fewer means what operation? If I say you're going to take something fewer, there you go, Baird. Good, nice, good. Subtraction, minus, subtract. Yes. So we're going to have to take what we got in December 1st, which, let me change colors, which is 1.3. And we're going to have to take away 0.5 from that. That is what happened on December the 5th. So 1.3, and we're going with that. That gives me my 0.8. This 8/10 needs to be part of the mix here. Okay, this answer comes here. Then it states 3 more inches fell. Okay, no comparison, nothing what happened in December 5th, just December 15th, 3 more inches of rain. The 3, remember it's a whole number, is going to line up with the remaining whole numbers. Add those together. Because they want to know how many inches of rain fell. So we have our 3 and our 8, that gives our 11, so we got a 1. All right, line up our decimal, boom, put that decimal there. So right now it looks like B is going to be my answer because 3 plus 1 plus 1, that gives me 5. So the part that I noticed when people put their other answers, you forgot to take that 0.5 inches of rain away from the December 1st. Okay. All right. Fabulous. Hello, user 88. There we go. All right. Let's see if we can get one more because I have to skedaddle. Okay. I try to get these lives in as quickly as much as I can. I really do, which is good. I like being busy. Especially then I can start breathing. Sigh of relief. All right, so it costs, a little cockeyed. If it costs $5.50 per square foot to build a new patio, how much would it cost to build a patio that is 9 by 20 feet? Is it A, $647, B, $789, C, $878, or D, $990? There we go. Okay. So we got some D's, a whole series of D's. Love it. We got our Kathy's, we got our D's, we got our D's. All right. Do I give private or group sessions? Yes, I do. Yep, I'm going to explain all that in the mo. All right. And I didn't even do it. Jenny said D. She's like, oh God, I thought you forgot. All right, so we got our 990. We got 990. It's unanimous. Thank you. Okay, what is this prepping for? This is the prep for ASVAB and also GED. Really just looking at the word problems. So we can finagle what we can when it comes to the math knowledge, but the word problems, that's when we're going to have to learn to pull things out. Just have to get a little comfortable with it. All right, so first things first, I'm the realist. No, so we have to figure out what is our measurement. So if we're doing 9 by 20, that means 20 times 9. Oops, got a little crazy with the 9. All right, so that gives us our 180. And if we're looking at $5.50 per foot, we are not dividing. I wish we could. We're actually multiplying. Okay, so we have our two sets of zeros. We got that 0 here. That's going to be a 0. We got this 0. Then we got our 5. 5 times 8 is 40. Carry the 4. This will give us our 9. Then we got the same thing with this 5. So we got our 0. 0 for the 40. Carry over with the 0. And our 9. So we have our 0, 0, 0, 9, 9. And since this was 2 decimal places, we're starting here, going 1, 2. So we're looking at 990. Oops. Okay. Well, I tried to. Yes. So. Okay, no problem. No problem. So what I'm thinking about for next one, yes, if you guys can tap the screen, that would be lovely while I chit chat for you guys. Now, if you guys came later, do not run away. Do not be fearful. Okay, if you came later and you're just like, oh, what did I miss? This is where you can go. Okay, you go here, you type in that, and I would love for you guys to do those things. Okay, it is a free subscription as for right now. Never know, one day it might become popular. So if anything, thank you, I tried to. All right. So if anything, I try to like upload, but sometimes it takes a little bit, and especially I have to get ready for my next client. So this is what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to download this. I'll put it up on that. You can see all of my videos since February 2nd. That's when I officially started doing this whole, hi, this is math. Let me show you how I can break it down. And you have anything. So like anything that has to deal with algebra, that has to deal with GED, a little bit of geometry that's in there, a little bit of probability, as well as some statistics that is usually seen in any of those assessments. So that's where you can go to get the replay. Give me a few hours so I can upload it. Sometimes it's quick, sometimes it's not. So that's one thing. The other thing, if you are currently, say, in a college algebra course, let's say that seems very popular. Maybe you have a child that is struggling with math right now, because I know I just got 2 leads today. So things are starting to pick really up, which I'm loving it for me. And I still will try to make time for you guys as best I can, okay? Thursday, I might have to go earlier. I'm just putting that out there. But that's what I generally are trying to do. But if you're really serious about like getting your GED, or if you're just like, I haven't seen math in forever, I do have courses will break down the concepts just like how I do here. There's 107 videos. There's also practice problems, and there's also a little small assessments, like some quizzes on there as well. So you can definitely get all of that information. The business course math, not so much, Mason. Sorry. I'm worth the money. Yes. Thank you. My voice makes you understand. Oh, okay. Well, I appreciate that. I try to keep it simple, light, and airy. There are going to be some of these lives that I'm going to use where I'm going to pick one particular thing. I'm going to bring that back because I'm noticing a lot of people are starting to get into factoring, and that's starting to be like a little cumbersome with some people. So I might actually do a couple of these lives just doing factoring. I might even do a couple of them with just doing the decimal places. But I am going to make an announcement on my here. Okay, I'm going to make an announcement here to see if I can also do a little bit of live stuff there for people that really need like some of the basic components. So if that sounds like a good idea, please message me. You know, I'm open for some suggestions. It doesn't mean that you're going to control me, but it's more so like, hey, Audrey, this would be awesome if we can do that. Okay. Do I know how to do stuff with MX plus B? Yes, that's slope. Yes. Equation and line. Definitely. That is my jam. Okay. All right. So if you do, now I'm going to be truthful. I usually charge $92 for my hour sessions, but for my TikTok followers, I charge $77. Okay. So I'm taking a hit, but at the same time, it's something that I love to hear when people say, I finally get it, or it finally makes sense. So if you are interested and you're serious about it, there is a button that says Service Plus. You can contact me through that, or you can just send me a direct message here on TikTok. Okay. So what about qualitative reasoning? I don't really do too much with the qualitative reasoning. I only do the math. That's it. Okay. How about 50? How about 50 what? Do you have a 410 number? Yes, I do. Okay. Yep. For an hour. I know. But for you guys, I'm only charging $77. I'm not charging $92. Yes. American money. Compared to a lot of my other counterparts, there's other people that will charge $125 an hour. And if you go to any of the big corporations, generally that's what you're paying, like $120. And they're not working with what you're currently doing. They're usually working with their program. And I'm like, you don't have time for a program. Sometimes you just need someone to just kind of wrap things up at the end. So that's what I do. I'd rather be honest, open and honest instead of giving you false hope. But, you know, you do have options. You can come, continue to listen here. I'm very sporadic. It's nothing consistent that I do here. But you also got the replays. And if you do want to get with the tutoring, you can get with the tutoring. Okay. All right. Okay. So. All right. Well, welcome. American money, honey. All right. So if you have any questions whatsoever, please message me. If you're going to message me here on TikTok, don't just say hi, because I will delete the message automatically. Like I've done that at least a good 20 in the last 2 days. Like you're saying hi. I'm like, what do you need? Like, do you need help with this? Or you just saying hi? Just say like, I really enjoyed the session, or thank you for the lives, or whatever you want to say. But please add to it. Don't just say hi or sup. That was fun. Jesus. All right. So I have to get going, but I will be here tomorrow. We're probably going to either do a little bit of SAT or I might go with some basic math skills, especially to help with the HESI and the test. Okay. So I might do a little bit of that as well tomorrow. Yeah. I can't even give you a time. It's like whenever I have a breather in between sessions, because that's exactly what I did today. Like I wasn't even on a direct schedule. Every time I do a direct schedule, I have to always change it. So I just tried to send it. Okay. So if anything, if you click on the heart next to my name, you should be able to get some notifications on when I do go live. All right. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Gotta go. Take care, guys. Bye now.